Hey everyone, welcome back to QA and Dev Tips. Today we are going to learn something that instantly makes your Python code look smarter. So like cleaner, shorter and more pro level. It's called list comprehensions. Now don't worry. The name sounds fancy, but it's actually very simple. By the end of this video, you will be able to replace boring loops, write clean one-liners, and understand what Pythonic code really means. So let's get into it. So alright, let's say you want to create a list of numbers from 1 to 5. Normally you will write something in Python and print the numbers. And when I run this program, it works fine. It prints all the numbers in a list format, and we use this for loop, and it took 4 lines of code. But Python gives a shorter, cleaner way, and that is using 1 line of code. And you can see here the same program, and you can print the numbers here, and when I run the program, you see exactly the same output as in the previous code, which had 4 lines of code. But here with just 1 line, or 2 lines, we are going to do we did the same thing. So this is called list comprehension. So let's break it down. So we have here this important line, and this is actually a template. You can represent this as a template where the expression, which is the I, and the for loop for the item I in the iterable list of items. So the item here and the range here, the iterable. So Python reads like this: give me I for every I in the range 1 to 6. So why do we use list comprehensions? So that's a good question. Why not just use loops? So here is why. When you use the list comprehension, you use less code. So as we can see here, just 1 line of code. It is more readable. Once you get used to it, it will be more readable and faster in many cases. And this is the preferred way to code in Python. And this is what is called, and this is what is actually called Pythonic code. So it is Pythonic. So this is how so it's a way to create a list of numbers from 1 to 5 using list comprehension. So in a short way, people call this as Pythonic. So this is very useful. It's a very important term that interviewers use when they interview you. So interviewers, when you take an interview on Python, this really matters. Let me show you some more examples to understand this concept more clearly. So let's say we want to do a square of all the numbers. So here we have the squares list. For every I in the list of 1 to 6, we are going to do a star, and we are going to print the value here. So let's run this program, and you can see for each number it's doing a square: 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, and 5 times 5. So we can do the same thing using Pythonic, that is using list compression. So using this 1 line of code. So you see here it's taking each I in the range, and for each I it's going to do a I star I, which is nothing but square. So we collect all the squares for each number and store it in a list, and then print the squares in the same way as we did before. So the previous program output is this, and when I run this new 1 line of code, it's printing the same output, and it is much cleaner, right? And I can show you more example. For example, let's take this addition example where we are going to print only even numbers. So carefully look at this program. It's taking all the numbers from 1 to 11, which is 1 to 10 actually. The range ends 11 minus 1, and we take each number and check if it is an even number. Only when it is, if it is really an even number, we are going to collect those even numbers. We keep appending that. So when we run the program, you see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 all are even numbers. So it printed only even numbers. Now let's try to simplify this program much easy and cleaner way using list comprehension. So here we have the same thing. So what it's doing here is for each I in the range, it is storing the value in the I, and is also doing a condition here only if I modulus of I mod 2 is equal to 0, which is true only for even numbers. So it's going to, only when the condition passes, this I is going to be given to us, and it is added to the list of items, and the list name is events, and we print the same thing. So we get exactly the same output. So if the number is even, we keep it. If the number is odd, we don't take it. So that's how it is. So you can remember this part of the list comprehension as this general format, as I write in this comment code. So you can see here for the expression for each item in the iterable, if the condition is true, we keep the item in the list. So we keep adding only the even numbers. So that's how you get that. Now let's take another example, which is the reverse of that. What if the I is in the front of the for loop? So here, so you have this result, and when I print the result, it's going to be, let's print the result here. So when I print the result, it's giving the -1, 2, -3. So if the number is even, it will keep it. If the number is not even, there is a else logic here, and it's going to negate that number. So it is going to be false, and it's going to come into this else part for all the odd numbers. So we are going to negate all the odd numbers. So you can see that wherever you see the odd number, it starts with the range. In this list, takes the first number 1. 1 is not an even number, so it's going to the else part and negates that, so -1. So you can see the next number is an even number, so its mod is 0, so it's going to keep adding that, and the next number and the next number, and you can see all the odd numbers are multiplied with the -1, negated here. So that's how the output here. So you can see here how we did this complex operation all with the single line of code. So actually this can be represented as this template, where you can see that if the expression is true, which is this one, we keep that even number, because the expression is true only for even numbers. For other, if it is an odd number, this condition is not there. So else, if it is odd, we use the expression for false. We can use this in many different ways. It's only up to your imagination. For example, I want to square the odd numbers. So you can say I star I. So if I run the same program, it is going to square the odd numbers. So 1 square is 1, 3 square is 9, 5 square is square of 5 is 25. So all the even numbers are left as it is, but the odd numbers are squared. So it gives you a lot of this option all in a single line of code. So this is very powerful. So there are some common mistakes that Python beginners or even experienced programmers do, is that don't overcomplicate this expression. If you have a list comprehension that is very complex, it becomes too hard to read as it becomes more and more complex. So just use a loop in those cases. Don't just say I'm going to use the Pythonic and then complicate your code. Feel free to use just a loop if things are more clear to you that way. And then don't nest too much. And yes, Python allows nested list comprehensions, but trust me, readability matters more. And a real world scenario, whether you are a QA or a developer, is extracting the status code from the API responses. And you can even filter once you have the status code, you can even filter the status code. And you can see here, I used here using this list comprehension, where you get all the responses and check each response. If the response status code is not 200, then you store that in a failed list. So how you can see how this simple one line does this useful, super useful thing, which is very useful in the automation scripts. Alright, quick recap. So today in this video we saw the list comprehensions, which are the shorter loops, and syntax is simple once you practice, and this is great for clean Pythonic code. And my advice, start using this in your daily code. Even small changes like these make your code look cleaner, and it will make a big difference. So if this video helped you, like this video and comment Pythonic if you learned something new. So subscribe this channel for more tips like this, and I will see you in the next one. Happy coding.